exactly. Yeah. So here, everyone's gonna have pretty much the same tiebreakers going in. So we'll talk about that later. But now we're started, and already Michael Bonde with a turn 2 Blood Artist, which might annoy Brian Swatkins a bit.
Yeah, not the strongest start, and actually this is maybe the weakest opening we've seen from Bonde on camera so far. He's been coming out of the gates really fast, but right now his turn 2 play gets killed and he has nothing on the board.
Yeah, you really want to play on curve like you were saying, but he did draw a Voice of Resurgence, which could be good. I think instead he's probably going to play, Lingering Souls.
That's pretty good against John.
Yeah, it really is. Just the fact that Lingering Souls supplies 4 creatures. It's very, very good, very, very powerful here. Brian Swatkins doesn't have to use one of his, bonfires, or just maybe he's gonna have to Huntmaster, then pass and flip. But Michael Bonde is also gonna have removal, so we'll see what Swatkins can do. A Nighthawk's a great answer. We'll see if Bonde is gonna have a sack effect, because I do see a Tragic Slip in hand.
Right, the Tragic Slip will be able to trade with it, but it looks like Brian Swatkins will gain 2 life, destroy a spirit, and trade with the Tragic Slip.
Yeah,
So
well, I think Bonde's not going to attack until he has a sack outlet. I think he's going to go Voice of Resurgence and play Lingering Souls.
fair enough.
Yeah, I think.
Wow, and a little bit awkward mana here for Bonde. He has 3 white-black duels, but only 1 green source, so he can't deploy that Young Wolf in his hand yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think he wants to do that Young Wolf. I thought he would just want to flash back to Lingering Souls here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what he wants to set up. This is pretty good, actually. Michael Bonde is making a very nice play. Swatkins ends up attacking with Nighthawk, which I think I might have not done, because now he's going to get blown out here to double Tragic Slip.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, granted, we know he has 2 Tragic Slips in hand, but a great play from Michael Bonde, really thinking in advance, knowing that Swatkins is going to swing with the Nighthawk.
Oh, wow.
He
no
does it?
Tragic Slip.
Okay.
It looked like he set it up really well. But I guess he's just going to let the Huntmaster flip, destroy his voice? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's interesting play here. There's a Lingering Souls. Okay, I'm kind of confused, so I guess we'll have just Zach take over for the rest of the day here. I think he wanted to get rid of the Huntmaster. Maybe Michael Bonde is trying to set Swatkins up again to attack, but I think Swatkins just should maybe not attack and not play anything.
Right. A Thragtusk is pretty good. I mean,
if you're going to play something, you're going to play Thragtusk.
Right. If it was something like a Rakdos Kirun or a Farseek or a Ground Seal, well, that's one thing. But Thragtusk, that's probably worth your 5 mana.
Yeah. All right. So Brian with that Cavern is on Vampire. So maybe Olivia coming out sometime soon. All right. Bonde swings in only in the air with his flying team.
Yep. He drops Swatkins to 24 and keeps
another
on the souls.
Another Lingering Souls.
So that's 6 spirit tokens this game. Brian Swatkins still at a healthy 24 though, facing down 5 spirits.
But I mean, it's pretty much just a bonfire away, and Bonde's in huge problems here.
Yeah, so Brian Swatkins slow roll down a bit, made it look like a bonfire, but nope, just a land.
Yeah.
I think he's on land Farseek, so he's pretty much on gas here.
It's either land Farseek or land Farseek Huntmaster.
Oh, that would be a big difference.
Yeah. I wouldn't even mind just having Swatkins pass the turn, flipping this Huntmaster here.
Take out one of the spirit tokens?
Yeah. All right, so it is Huntmaster and Farseek. Yeah, I was thinking maybe just pass the turn, flip Huntmaster, then next turn go Huntmaster Farseek to flip it back down, and then next turn to go flip up together. You can have them kind of in sync here, which he will do, but he won't have double spell unless he draws an extra spell and it doesn't Farseek this turn, which it looks like he's going to Farseek by paying that 2 life.
So he's going to empty out his hand.
Yeah.
He figures the 2 life is offset by that Huntmaster the Fells.
Okay.
23-19 in favor of Swatkins.
Yeah. So Bonde's still with no sack outlet. So he's just going to probably play that extra voice and flashback that Souls, putting 7 points of flying in the air. Now, these matches are going to be really quick. John versus Junk Aristocrats shouldn't go too long. I mean, we're only about 4 or 5 minutes in, and it looks like the game is to a point where anything could happen. All right.
Yeah, it seems like the more I think about that Farseek play, the more I'm convinced that you're right, and especially because now Michael Bonde doesn't really have to fear Bonfire of the Damned. He maybe wouldn't flash back this other Lingering Souls if Swatkins kept a card in his hand.
Yeah, well, it still he has to fear the miracle of Bonfire.
He does, but there's not much he can really do about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Brian had a Bonfire, he probably would have used it already, unless he was just really slow rolling it, for example. But as we know, he has no hand, so he's just looking for a miracle on the top.
Right. The one thing that I've noticed about Bonde play throughout this tournament is that he's pretty conservative with his Lingering Souls. He doesn't like to just play it flashback, play it flashback, all in one go. He likes to have something in the graveyard, maybe one copy of it, just in case his opponent has a bonfire or a verdict.
Except for this game.
Except for this game, yeah.
This game has kind of been going all out, which is fair because he has to try to do something to combat this double Huntmaster. So we'll see what happens. So it looks like Brian's got to pass, and both Huntmasters will flip. I think I just want to take out two tokens here.
Yeah.
I think that's my line of play.
Because otherwise that's 7 points of flying power versus 19 life. And now 5 tokens versus 19 life, that's a little less of a
All right, so what is going to happen now, Bonde, when the second Huntmaster is still on the stack, he's going to actually Tragic Slip it, so it won't kill a second token.
Yeah, and that's a really heads-up play by Bonde. He couldn't do it on Brian Swatkins' end step, but instead, after his Spirit token had died, then Morbid was enabled. So
sure,
good heads-up play there.
All right, now Swatkins is looking for a spell. Anything will do. Okay, good, yeah, because he had Rakdos Return, which was he holding, and now he has Abrupt Decay. So I think he wants to flip the Huntmaster back down. I think just going Rakdos Return for 3 and playing an Abrupt Decay on just one of the other Spear tokens is fine. Huntmaster will flip back down again.
Right, he's really under pressure here with these 6 flying Spirit tokens.
Yeah, that's all he wants to do. He wants to gain life and take care of the Spirit tokens.
Right, and if he deals with the Spirit tokens, he's not out of the woods because those 2 Voice of Resurgences are just waiting in the wings for a sack outlet.
Yep. And it looks like he's going to do my exact play. There's a Rakdos Return for 3. He's going to see that Bonde was just holding onto a Temple Garden. And I'm pretty sure Abrupt Decay is going to go after a Spirit token. I mean, getting rid of those Voice of Resurgences right now wouldn't be that good because Bonde would just have a huge body.
Wow, look at this. A swing from Brian Swatkins.
Yeah. Well, Swatkins is taking another line of play, which is fine. He wants to swing out. He wants the Voice of Resurgence to die in combat, and then he wants to Abrupt Decay the Elemental token. I don't think I would ever swing with the Huntmaster here, though. I think I would also maybe leave a Wolf back. Swinging a Huntmaster is very risky, I would say. But maybe Swatkins' middle name is risky.
I would have definitely left at least one Wolf back here, because otherwise this is what happens.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to kill both of the elemental tokens.
Brian Swatkins might be down on board here.
Well, the whole thing is that he would be down on board if, for example, something like a Township or a Lingering Souls were to come into play.
Right.
All right. So now he's going to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, he is dead on board.
Well, he's going to get 1 Wolf token. Which I didn't.
Okay,
I didn't realize that last
turn. He would only be down on board. Okay, so I guess Swatkins is setting this game up pretty good. There's a Varas.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be really good. Maybe he will be dead on board because of that draw. Yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, because of the 2 life, he went up to 15. He should be fine. I think his attack still was a little risky, to be honest.
Yeah, he's on a 2-turn clock right here. With Michael Bonde at 10, I'm not sure he's going to be able to finish Swatkins off. Swatkins is going to need a Bonfire or a Rakdos Return, Mizium Mortars, a card like this right here off the top. He does have quite a few of those cards. But
he has 1 copy of Mizium Mortar. He has 3 Bonfires. And Olivia would help out. Another Thragtusk maybe. Thundermaw Hellkite for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
1 main deck, very nice. Miser's Hellkite.
So Brian definitely has some options to draw here. So Bonde is gonna scavenge. Yeah, he's doing the math. He knows he's just a couple of points short here, but I think he's gonna go pretty much all out, only leaving back the Young Wolf as the one creature that could attack that he's not going to swing in with.
Yeah, this makes sense. Now he has 2 creatures that can block that Thragtusk, and his opponent only has 7 power, so it's going to be really hard for Brian Swatkins to kill him this turn. Brian Swatkins really needs a Bonfire right now.
Yeah, Brian should go down to 7, and then he's facing lethal next turn unless he draws something. And he draws, let's see if it's no, not a Bonfire. 1, 2, 3, he has enough red for Mizium Mortars. Olivia's not going to do it, I don't think. He'll just pass the turn. Huntmaster will flip. He'll take out one of the tokens.
Right, he's still dead to these tokens, though, and all Michael Bonde has to do is turn him sideways.
Yeah.
We'll see if Swatkins drew an instant.
Let's see. Maybe leaving back... The whole thing is that I don't think it was about him leaving back more creatures. I think it was about him not making that play. As long as he was able to have Huntmaster flip back and forth as long as he was able, at least one time, as long as he was able to abrupt decay one of the flyers, it might have been a different game. I mean, it was unfortunate for Brian that Michael drew the Vase, but you know, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I don't hate Brian's line of play, but I think maybe getting those Huntmasters in sync, like you said, alternating turns, might have been a better line.
Yeah, there was a lot of decisions to be made in this game, even on Michael Bonde's side when he didn't want to tragic slip the Huntmaster. When he took out the Nighthawk, I thought he was also going to take out the Huntmaster.
Right, and you know, as the game played out, that was a mistake, but Michael Bonde was living in fear of the Olivia Valdarn at that point.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Yeah. So you might think, oh yeah, sure, take out the Huntmaster, but then what happens if Olivia came down?
Yeah.
So
Michael Bonde takes game one, continues his steamrolling of this tournament. It seems like he can't be stopped.
yeah, just
A couple more people in his way.
Yeah, I mean, he's just one game away from going out to the finals, so that's really awesome. But what we're going to do now for you is that we're going to do a trivia question, and if you guys think you know the answer, tweet at SCG Live, hashtag SCG Premium, it's right there.
The hashtag is the important part. Without that hashtag, you don't get entered into the
Yeah,
draw.
we want to know, like, you know, what's going on, and maybe you're just tweeting at us. You can also tweet at GFabs5 or ZC Hall, or you could follow us. Sometimes we have some nice tweets. Sometimes we post pictures of some of our decks that we draft on Magic Online.
Some of our Modern Masters packs that we've cracked in a bit of rage.
Yeah. So you guys can follow us as well. So the trivia question is that if you guys were here at the beginning of the broadcast, I said that we are live from blank. All right.
Ooh, okay.
I didn't say we were at Worcester, which we are. And the reason why I said it is because there's a really special tournament coming up in 3 weeks in New Jersey, and it's the Invitational. So this one's an easy one for you. Where is the Invitational in 3 weeks?
Yep.
It's somewhere in New Jersey, so we're looking for the city.
All right, so Star City Invitational coming up in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Where is it? Use Star City Premium, SCG Premium. Make sure you use that. And
Yep.
Tweet in.
All right, so let us know. All right, so we're gonna go back to the players here. We're gonna try to pull up their sideboard on screen, so you guys at home, you guys are watching, you can say, you know what, here's what I'm gonna bring in versus Junk Aristocrats. Here are the cards that I want against Jund, because we all know that you guys play test a lot. Maybe some of you guys are, you know, Magic Online grinders. Maybe you guys are Friday Night Magic grinders. You know, I go to my Friday Night Magic every once in a while, and every time I go, I see the same group of 20 or 25 players there, and they're always playing Standard. And I always want to get a draft together, and there's like, no, Standard, Standard, Standard. And when they heard about the Invitational in blank New Jersey, I don't want to say where yet, they're all, you know, trying to get ready with their Standard deck, and hopefully some of them will do well, you know?
That's right. I mean, that's how you end up with a sideboard like Brian Swatkins. You know, that's clearly not just a pile of cards thrown together. This is someone who's tested, or at least based on someone who's tested a bunch, and figured out, all right, these are the cards I want for these matchups.
Yeah, definitely. So Brian has an Acidic Slime, Ground Seal, Underworld Connections, Tragic Slip. You guys can see it on the screen. For this particular matchup, I think that he really wants that extra Tragic Slip. I think just more removal is good. Cheap removal is very important as well, especially where Bonde might get into a board state where he's going to sack his Voice of Resurgence, get a big elemental token. He wants to be able to, hey, you know, -13, kill it right away. Also, he wants another answer to Obsidian, because that's a very powerful card, especially against Jund. Besides for that, he wants a Mizzium Mortars, Pillar of Flame, and I don't really see too much else there.
Maybe Barter in Blood. You know, yesterday I really wrote off Barter in Blood versus the Aristocrats deck, but after seeing it play out a little more, there are some times when it's a complete blowout. So
yeah, it's pretty rare though, I would say. I think just because of the Lingering Souls and the Voice of Resurgence and the Young Wolf and the Doom Traveler, I would have to disagree with you there. I mean, I could envision something where it's just like Bonde's left with double our Cartel Aristocrat or something.
Right, or like a giant scavenged card and this and that. But
Yeah,
it's,
sure.
It's tough for it to be really good.
Yeah, I think because of that, I think just Tragic Slip is the card you really want. Yeah, in our other match, Steven's up a game against Carlos, 1-0.
Okay, so that's the Jund aggro deck.
Yeah.
Almost onto the finals against straight Jund.
Yeah, I mean, if it is Junk Aristocrats versus Jund aggro, the matchup's going to be really fast, and it's just going to go, you know, guy, attack. Maybe they'll turn into an attrition war, or maybe they'll just damage race, and if there are going to damage race, or if it's an attrition war, it's going to favor Junk Aristocrats because of the 4 copies of Blood Artist.
Right. That card is just so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Now, on the other side of the table, Junk Aristocrats, it has a couple of cards that they want to bring in against Jund. Obsidian definitely stands out. And then the other cards that, you know, we talked about yesterday, is the 2 Appetite for Brains and the 2 Duress. Duress could hit many cards in Swatkins' deck, many important cards like a Bonfire or a Mizium Mortars or even a Farseek. You know, there's no saying that Brian's going to keep a hand that's not really relying on Farseek, and all of a sudden, Duress, you don't have a Farseek anymore, you're going to be many turns behind. Do you think he's going to bring in the bottom 5 cards on screen, 2 Duress, 2 Appetites, and the Obzidot?
I think he'll bring in Obzidot, 2 Appetites, and 0, 1, or 2 Duresses. I don't know exactly how many cards Bonde wants to take out of his deck, because every card you take out really dilutes a synergistic deck like this. So I think we'll see maybe 1 Duress.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I think Appetite for Brains is one of the most important cards against Jund. When I built my Grixis Control deck and I gave it to Joel Larson, he said, you know what, Appetite for Brains, amazing against Jund. Why? Because you could take Hunt Master, you could take Thragtusk, you could take Olivia, and here Michael Bonde wants to take Olivia. Like we saw in Game 1, we were saying, you know what, he should just tragedy slip that Hunt Master. Maybe he should have, maybe he shouldn't. But Michael Bonde was thinking, well, you know, I really want to kill that Hunt Master. It's going to be annoying, it might flip, it might kill some of my guys, but if an Olivia comes down, I'm probably going to lose. So he has to kind of bite the bullet there, and he had to just save the tragedy slip and eventually kill the Hunt Master when he realized, hey, Brian doesn't have an Olivia. If he draws it, he draws it. What can I do now?
Yeah, that card is just such a trump in this matchup. The Olivia Valdarin, that gigantic vampire.
Yeah. It will be out of Standard pretty soon, but I know it's going to make its way into Modern, and it already has. So maybe even Legacy?
Wow, that would be crazy.
If it made it to Legacy?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not in Vintage quite yet. I know Restoration Angel's in Vintage now. So it's pretty crazy, right?
It is a 4-mana 3/4.
Yeah.
In Vintage, where I can play a Time Walk.
Yeah.
Black Lotus. Wow.
Yeah. You know, you have Snapcaster, you have Restoration Angel.
Well, Black Lotus land Resto. That's a big game right there.
Not that bad. Okay, so Michael Bonde will go down to 6. Doesn't really matter too much. Junk Aristocrats doesn't need that many lands to really fire on all cylinders. So if they mulligan to 6 and they just have a 2-lander, they can still pretty much play out 70 to 80% of their deck.
Right.
Yeah. So
in the background there, you can see Ruben Bressler on the upper right side of your screen. He's covering the other match. Looking pretty awake this morning, the big yawn.
Yeah, for sure.
Head Judge Eric Shukan standing behind him, and Table Judge Abe Corson. So the Star City crew working hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Bright and early.
Yeah, and the room's filling up for Legacy. I'm guessing it's probably going to be 8 or 9 rounds for Legacy.
Yeah, I would think 9.
Yeah. All right. So do you think Bonde is going to keep this hand? I just see a 1-lander, and he doesn't want to just keep 1-lander. He draws to see what it would have been. It would have been a Garruk Relentless, so that wouldn't
the worst draw.
Yeah, when you only have 1 land, you don't really want to draw, one of your very few 4-drops that you have in your deck.
So I did see a Duress in his hand, though, so that means he brought in at least one of them.
Duress.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bonde, when he's on 5 cards now, he's just really looking for a hand with Voice of Resurgence and a couple of lands, because Voice could be a card where it could stall the game out and it could just clog the board, and that's what he really wants. He also wants something like a Lingering Souls, where Lingering Souls makes 4 tokens, so that's kind of unmulligans himself a bit, at least for 1.
Right, it's when you get the hands like Doom Traveler, Young Wolf, 2 lands, Tragic Slip. These are going to be the kinds of 5-card hands that it's going to be very difficult for Bonde to deal 20 damage with a hand like that.
Yeah, because there's not going to be any power.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants an Obzidot in this 5-card hand. That would be great.
Yeah, oh, well, this hand looks pretty good. 3 lands, Appetite for Brains, and Garruk Relentless.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me.
I don't see any green sources, but hey, there's one right off the top.
Now, you don't want to Appetite for Brains early on. You kind of want to save it until turn 3, when it's most likely that he will have a 4-drop in hand.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that he goes turn 1 Appetite for Brains.
I really agree with you there. I would never cast the Appetite on turn 1, but, Bonde's going to hit. He's going to hit that Olivia.
Yeah.
That's almost definitely what he's going to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's definitely the case. You also have more information later on by turn 3, like either turn 2 or turn 3. Maybe he has a certain hand where he's going to play on curve. But for the most part, I would definitely agree with leading off with a Duress on turn 1. Yeah. But a turn 1 Appetite for Brains is something that I might not choose to do.
Yep, but either way, he gets the card that he wants. He gets that Olivia Valdarin. And Swatkins just going to play a Farseek here off his 2 lands, set up his red mana.
Yeah, he'll probably get a Blood Crypt there. All right, there's an Isolated Chapel. If you guys hear some announcements in the background, we hear them too. They're just talking about Legacy going on today. So if you guys are at home, don't worry, the announcement's just starting, meaning that you still have at least an hour to get down here and register for Legacy and have a good time. Also a bunch of side events going on, so.
That's right, we got the booster drafts, the commander pods, competitive booster drafts, running a lot of side events, but more importantly, the Legacy main event starting at 10 a.m.
All right, so Swatkins will draw for his turn, and he'll have access to 4 mana here, but he has no play because the Olivia was exiled with the Appetite for Brains.
Right, now he does have a Dreadbore. He does have, I think the other one was a Tragic Slip in his hand.
Yeah.
But now the Thragtusk.
Yeah, definitely. Thragtusk with SCGWOR run. That's going to be really nice. We're going to see if Bonde will have any answer here. Garruk Relentless won't really do too much. It will throw a Chump Blocker in the way, but because of the SCGWOR run, Swatkins could just trample over and get rid of the Garruk.
Right. What do you think about having the Garruk fight that Thragtusk?
I don't like it. It just kind of throws it away. I mean, it might be better than just making a wolf, actually.
Right. Wow.
Wow, Dreadbore. I'm surprised that Brian wanted to use his Dreadbore there. I would want to save it.
Yeah, it looks like he just wanted to attack Bonde for 6 points of damage there.
That's really interesting. I mean, maybe if he had another follow-up play like a Huntmaster, he wanted to use his mana in a certain way.
Right.
But because he's just chose that line, I don't know. I mean,
It's
I'm
a
surprised.
really aggressive line. He must not want Bonde to draw out of this.
Yeah, and now he's going to use his Wolf Run, but Bonde is able to use his Township activation, so the Thragtusk will actually trade.
Right, so Brian Swatkins he's looking to end this game as quick as possible, but Bonde is putting up a fight. He has a 3/3 Wolf trading with the Thragtusk.
Yeah.
Swatkins will get a Beast, but Bonde he's drawing pretty live here.
Yeah, so we'll see what Bonde will draw. I mean, he's only facing down a Beast, to be honest.
Right, it's a 7/3 Beast, but there are a lot of things in his deck that can help him out here. I don't know if the Varels that he drew is going to do it, though.
Yeah, Varels is really nice, but Varels usually shines when A, he has a bunch of creatures in his graveyard, or B, when he has a cluttered board.
Right.
So he's able to, and he's just going to scoop it up.
Wow, yeah, he was
that
dead
was
on
pretty
board with that
quick.
Wolf Run. Swatkins took a really aggressive line. I expected him to play more conservatively, like Jund decks usually do.
Yeah.
But that worked out for him.
Yeah, I mean, it did work out. I think that Brian maybe just was really excited. It's like, oh, my opponent double mulligan. I have a good draw. End game, end the game, end the game.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens in game 3. Again, the sideboards are on screen. Michael Bonde with 4 Deathrite Shamans, 3 Abrupt Decay, Ray Revelation, 2 Smites, Obsidian, Appetite for Brains, and Duress. We definitely agree on the Obsidians, Appetite for Brains, and Duress. Maybe Michael Bonde will get a little tricky, bring something else in. I don't think so.
Maybe like 1 or 2 Deathrite Shamans as some kind of end-game reach. But
yeah,
I really just don't like the Shaman in the Junk Aristocrats deck when your opponent has Bonfire.
Exactly.
That's asking for trouble.
Yeah, and on the other side, Brian doesn't really have too much to bring in either. Tragic Slip for sure, extra Mizium Mortars, extra Pillar of Flame. Other than that, doesn't look like too much is going to come in there. So who do you think's favored this game?
On the play, I like Michael Bonde.
Yeah.
I really like his chances. He's really shown us that he's a tight player this weekend, and he's also beaten almost every Jund deck we've seen him play against.
Sure.
No one's defeated him yet.
Yeah, no, speaking of that Dreadbore play, what Brian could have actually done, which would have been slightly better, he could have just, if he wanted to use Dreadbore that turn, he could have Dreadbored the creature,
Okay.
and then attack the Garruk with Thragtusk.
That wouldn't deal any trample damage.
Yeah,
though,
it wouldn't deal any damage, but at least the creature would be gone as well.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So I guess Swatkins' idea was he just wanted to attack Bonde's life total. But I think for the most part, when you guys are playing a matchup like this and your opponent double mulligans, just being able to kill a planeswalker is something that could be the way you want to go without using extra resources.
Right, virtually for free. I mean, Bonde would have gotten a wolf out of it, but a 4-mana 2/2 wolf, that's an okay deal.
Yeah,
for
definitely is an okay deal. So, and we saw that yesterday. I think people get overexcited when players mulligan, especially when they double or triple mulligan. We saw a triple mulligan yesterday, and I think what happened was that the blue-white-red flash player got overexcited, was saying, oh yeah, my opponent mulled to 4, how can I really lose this game?
Right.
And either took lines that were too careful or not careful enough, and ended up losing because of that.
I mean, how many times in a game of Magic have you won the game with 3 cards left in your hand?
Sure,
That's
yeah.
kind of like a triple mulligan. Sure, your opening hand and your mana is going to be affected from a mull, but that doesn't mean that you need all your cards to win.
Yeah.
Ever.
All right, so Michael will be on the play, and I think he is favored here since he is on the play. So we'll see his opening draw. Cartel Aristocrat, Temple Garden, Aristocrat, Doom Traveler. He needs a land. He needs a land.
Ooh,
oh, wow.
His last card.
Overroad Tomb, making his hand pretty much the nuts.
Yeah, all he needed was a black source right there, and he got it.
Yeah, if he just draws a couple more lands, I could see Michael Bonde, heading his way to the finals, but we'll see if any lands are on top of his deck. There's a Voice of Resurgence. That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. He has a 5-drop and a 4-drop in his hand, so he's going to need some lands pretty quickly, because otherwise he's going to run out of plays in about 2 turns.
Yeah. Now on the other side, Brian Swatkins will, have a Pillar of Flame on the Voice of Resurgence, which is pretty nice. What do you think about leading out with that Cartel Aristocrat over the Voice? Wouldn't that have been safer?
Yeah, it definitely would have been safer. I think you usually want to get the Voice out there, but
Really?
I'm a little mystified.
I think you normally want to get the Cartel Aristocrat out there, and then you follow up with Voice. So now a Pillar of Flame, for example, wouldn't really do anything.
Yeah, I think Bonde thinks that the Aristocrat's more important in the matchup. Maybe he wanted to bait it out.
Well, I mean, even if it is more important, he could just have sacked the Doom
Yeah.
Traveler to give it
Right.
protection. So I'm kind of surprised with that line of play. Maybe Bonde got overexcited. We'll ask him about it later. So there's a second Cartel Aristocrat. And Swatkins, does he have the Thrag Tusk? Oh, the Acidic Slime.
I can't believe he boarded in the Acidic Slime,
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
surprised.
perfect right here.
Well, it could have been perfect. I'm really surprised that he didn't go after one of the color source.
Yeah.
I mean, we see that. I don't know. I mean, I think taking out one of the color sources here could have been really devastating.
Yeah, Michael Bonde would not have been able to play, for example, that Blood Artist if the Overgrown Tomb was destroyed.
Yeah.
So all of Bonde's creatures attack, and Cartel Aristocrat will gain pro green. It'll destroy the Acidic Slime, net him a 1/1, and also a 4-point life swing from that Blood Artist.
Yeah, definitely.
So really good attack.
Yeah, Brian's gonna need to draw something. I'm pretty surprised about the Acidic Slime as well. I mean, I thought about it. I think maybe on the play it might make more sense, but
Right on the draw though, really surprising me.
yeah, he was able to ramp to it. So,
Wow, Mizium Mortars drawn by Brian Swatkins. So
Yeah.
an overloaded Mizium Mortars.
but it's not gonna do that much. I mean,
No.
he's paying 2 life. Oh, but there's an Olivia.
That's a lot better.
All right, and he's gonna just immediately shoot the Blood Artist. Okay, yeah, I like the Olivia play much better here. All right, so there's gonna be no counter.
Yep, so Blood Artist triggers once more, but the Olivia now is a huge threat, and I don't think Michael Bonde has a Tragic Slip.
Yeah, we're gonna update that life total. Bonde should be at 18 or so, or 22. He's way higher than 8. I think he's
Yeah.
on 23.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
so, yeah. We'll get confirmation for that in a second.
So Voice of Resurgence plus a land comes down for Bonde. We'll see if he can force some points of damage through. With his opponent at 8 and him having Obsidian in hand, he just really needs to get Brian Swatkins to 6, 4, 2. Any of these numbers are good.
Yeah, I think I might just want to get in with the Cartel Aristocrats this turn.
Yeah.
Bring Swatkins down to 4 life.
Right. Now, the Obsidian's pretty far away,
Yeah.
but you still have to play to your outs. You still have to play to drawing 2 more lands before your opponent can kill you with Olivia.
Yeah. All right. So he's going to swing this way, which means Brian should go down to 5 life here. All right. So Olivia's going to stand in front of the way of a Cartel Aristocrat, and I think Bonde's going to sack that Voice of Resurgence,
Right.
giving him a 4/4 elemental creature. Now, it's going to probably come down if Michael Bonde could draw his 4th land for that Garrick.
Yep, 4th land for Garrick, 5th land for Obsidian. This is what Bonde's going to have to do.
Ooh,
Oh,
Hunt
wow,
Master.
Hunt Master
That's
at the top.
yeah, that's
Gain
pretty
2.
good.
Really, really good. Exactly what Swatkins needs. He's up to 7 life.
Yeah, well, we're going to switch those life totals. Bonde's actually at 19, and Swatkins is on 7 right
Right.
now. So we'll fix that for you guys in a second. And he's going to shoot the...
Shoots the Spirit
yeah,
right now.
I guess he has to shoot. I mean, I was thinking about just far seeking there just to build up his mana, but it's just too risky, right?
Yeah, I think so. Bonde does draw the untapped land, slams it into play. So now he's going to play Garrick. And the question is, what does he fight? Does he fight the Olivia? Does he get the Olivia off the board? Does he fight
Kill the Hunt Master and leave the Garrick around?
I think you have to kill the Olivia.
I think he might want to go after the Hunt Master, to be honest. Because of Obsidian, I think he might want to take out the Hunt Master.
Yep.
It is really close.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And Bonde, Bonde has played so aggressively towards Olivia Voldar in this entire tournament. Just kills it whenever possible, RFGs it with Appetite for Brains whenever possible. But now this is a close decision.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, maybe there's another line of making a beast, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna kill Olivia.
Yeah, I can't blame him there. His
And
Obsidian should be able to overpower the Huntmaster going long.
Yeah, I think he wants to swing in just with the elemental token because now it puts him in a decision: do you want to double block and lose your Huntmaster, or do you just want to chump block with the Wolf?
Right.
So I think Bonde's decision there, killing the Olivia, is the best. He didn't want to do it. You could tell he wanted to just kill the Huntmaster and leave Garrick in play, but he said, you know what, I had to do it.
Right.
Same thing in game 1 where he didn't use a tragic slip because of Olivia. So Swatkins will double block. Huntmaster dies.
Can't point at the Huntmaster fast enough.
Yep.
Little does he know that Brian Swatkins has another Olivia Valdarin in hand.
Yep. I think Swatkins might just want to overload that Mizium Mortars here, putting Bonde down to just one copy of Cartel Aristocrat. But
Right.
instead he goes for the Olivia.
Overload is pretty much the same as cast here.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Figure out how to tap his mana. There he goes. And yeah, if I'm Swatkins, I'm casting that Mortars here.
Yeah, I think he wants to cast that Mortars.
Yeah, it's not going to get any better than this. It's going to kill Bonde's worst creature.
Oh, instead he's just going to shoot. All right, will Bonde draw land? Oh, there it is.
And not just any
Oh, wow,
land.
it's Township. I think he's supposed to play the Obsidian, yep.
Yeah, wow. So now we have a game again. Brian Swatkins
Yeah.
down to 5. Bonde's going to flicker that out. And
Yeah, this is a crazy game here. I mean, I think Bonde has lethal unless Swatkins could do something. He could blink out Obsidian, he's going to come back, he's going to go to 3, and then because of the Township, he's going to have 2 copies of Aristocrat
Right.
that could give protection from red, but he has a green creature. I don't know. It's close. It's really close.
yeah, Bonde might need 1 turn. He might need 2 turns, but the pressure is on Brian Swatkins to deal with this Obsidian to get his life total a little higher.
Yeah, I mean, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mana. This is not enough. That's what I was talking about, that one turn where he might have wanted to Farseek with both of his mana, just in case he got to a point where he wants to go shoot, steal in the same turn.
Right.
Although the steal wouldn't happen because of the Cartel Aristocrat, but then it would essentially destroy the Obsidian.
Right, so Brian Swatkins is dead on board here unless he casts this Mizium Mortars. He has to cast this card.
Well, it's not necessarily dead on board because he's going down to 3 and he's got a green creature
and all black creatures.
and 2 blacks. Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to Mizium Mortars.
Wow, Farseek?
Farseek, I think he is dead on board, right?
Yeah,
Obsidian comes into play. If the life totals are correct, Obsidian comes into play, goes to 3. He'll attack. He'll give pro black. He'll give pro green, and that's game. Unless he casts that Mizium Mortars.
yeah, we might have the life totals wrong.
Yeah, we're gonna check for you guys in a second. I think they are correct.
He might have. Oh, wow, you see that? Bonde almost
Yeah.
just drew.
All right, Obsidian's bringing Brian on the 3. Let's see if Bonde draws anything. Tragic Slip, it's not going to matter, I don't think. Pro black to my Cartel Aristocrat. The other Cartel Aristocrat will give it pro green, and then I'll use my Township. Yeah, I'm surprised Brian didn't use that Mizium Mortars.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that Bonde hasn't sprung into action to kill his opponent here. What are we missing?
Well, is there any way that he could play around Tragic Slip because of that Rakdos key run? So he sacrifices the Cartel Aristocrat. Yeah, he's just gonna go for it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If he gives it pro black first, then he can play around Tragic Slip.
Well, no, if he gives it pro green first. Pro green.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's all he has to do.
Yeah, and now he's just counting out. Am I really in the finals?
Well, I mean, it is the same thing against essentially. If he gives it pro green first, because then when he goes for the pro black,
Right.
yeah. And that's it. 3 comes in, and Swatkins.
Wow. Bonde on to the finals.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
he's super excited. And I think Brian knows, because if he does play the Mizium Mortars, he kills one of the Cartel Aristocrats. Now what happens?
Yeah,